Michael Myers is supposed to be slow, silent, and unstoppable, but in an asymmetrical horror game, that might be the biggest risk Halloween the game is taking. The game follows a 1v4 asymmetrical structure, where Michael Myers is the sole killer, hunting down 4 Heroes of Haddonfield, controlled by human players. On paper, that sounds familiar, but the real concern isn't the structure, it's the pacing. Pacing has quietly become one of the most important factors in whether an asymmetrical horror game survives long term, and Halloween the game could face some real challenges here. Michael Myers as a character is traditionally slow, methodical, and relentless. That works incredibly well for the atmosphere, but in a multiplayer environment, atmosphere alone doesn't always translate to engaging gameplay loops. One of the biggest pacing factors will be map size. If the maps are large and early indications suggest they may be designed to reflect wider streets and neighborhoods of Haddonfield, this could potentially slow match flow. Large maps mean longer traversal times, longer search periods, and more downtime between encounters. In asymmetrical games, downtime is dangerous. Players expect constant pressure, especially after the early game setup phase. Another major pacing variable is hero movement speed. If the Heroes of Haddonfield move significantly faster than Michael Myers, the game could probably lean toward prolonged chases rather than quick confrontations. That can stretch matches out, especially if escape tools or safe routes are abundant. While slower killers can work, they usually require mechanics that compensate for speed, something we don't yet know enough about to confirm other than the jump ability that we've seen previews of. Now, when you compare this to other asymmetrical horror games, the difference in pacing becomes more obvious. Games like Dead by Daylight maintain fast pacing through small to medium map sizes, constant objective pressure, and multiple killers with movement or mobility tools. Even when chases take time, there's always something happening. Generators progressing, hooks creating pressure, or perks accelerating the end game. By contrast, Halloween the game features only one killer, and that killer is Michael Myers. Without multiple threats on the map, pressure relies entirely on proximity and fear, rather than mechanical urgency. That design choice could potentially slow early game tension, especially if heroes can spread out safely. Another pacing factor that could impact the game is kill speed versus match length. If eliminating heroes takes too long, whether through long chases, defensive mechanics, or recovery systems, matches could feel stretched beyond their natural suspense window. Horror thrives on escalation, and if that escalation stalls, players may disengage. There's also the issue of replay momentum. Faster paced asymmetrical games encourage just one more match behavior because rounds resolve quickly. If Halloween the game matches trend longer, that could potentially reduce session length, which historically has a direct impact on player retention and overall sales performance. Environmental design could also influence pacing. If maps offer many hiding spots, safe interiors, or line of sight blockers, Michael Myers may need extended time to locate players. That works narratively, but mechanically, it could slow engagement frequency, especially compared to asym games that funnel players into conflict through objective design. From a sales perspective, pacing issues often don't show up immediately. Launch excitement can carry a game early, but if matches feel slow or repetitive, player drop-off tends to happen fast. In asymmetrical horror genre, longevity depends on tension and tempo. If Halloween the game leans too heavily into realism and atmosphere without enough mechanical urgency, it could potentially struggle to keep casual players engaged long term. That said, slower pacing isn't automatically a failure. If the game successfully delivers dread, unpredictability, and meaningful encounters, it could carve out a unique niche. The real question is whether Halloween the game can balance Michael Myers' iconic slow burn with the expectations of modern multiplayer horror audiences. Because in today's asymmetrical market, fear is important, but momentum is everything. Remember to subscribe to keep up with Halloween the game as updates release, and welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.